Homelander might be the strongest guy in the boys, but how would he stack up against the symbol of peace himself, All Might? Could Homelander actually beat All Might in a fight, or would he get absolutely folded like a lawn chair? Today, we're breaking down powers, feats, and mindset to find out who really comes out on top. Let's start with Homelander. On paper, he's terrifying. He's got flight, laser vision, super strength, super hearing, and he's basically immune to everything short of a nuke. He's the face of Vought, the leader of the Seven, and in his world, no one comes close to his level of raw power. But let's be real, Homelander's less ultimate hero and more PR nightmare with god powers. Physically, he's a monster. In Season 1, Episode 8, he casually crushes Madeline Stillwell's skull with his bare hands. No effort, no hesitation. In Season 2, Episode 3, he walks through a barrage of gunfire in South America like he's bored. His heat vision has vaporized people instantly, like the gunmen in Season 1, Episode 4. And in Season 3, he takes a direct hit from Queen Maeve, gets thrown through concrete walls, and barely flinches. But raw power only gets you so far. Homelander's real weakness, everything else. Mentally, he's a mess. Raised in a lab with no real parents or emotional guidance, he's insecure, needy, and obsessed with control. He doesn't just want to win, he needs to be loved. In Season 2, we see him spiral when Stormfront starts stealing the spotlight. And in Season 3, Episode 2, he goes off script during his birthday speech, ranting about being controlled. And instead of pulling back, he doubles down. Why? Because he needs attention more than he needs stability. The second someone stops fearing him, he starts unraveling. That's not strength, that's fragility in disguise. And when it comes to actual combat, Homelander is shockingly untested. Most of his fights are blowouts. He's used to lasering people who can't fight back, not facing real opposition. But in Season 3, Episode 6, during the fight at Herogasm, we finally see him face someone at his level, Soldier Boy. Add Butcher and Huey on Temp V, and suddenly Homelander's not in control anymore. He gets overwhelmed. He doesn't dominate. He barely escapes. Same story with Queen Maeve in Season 3, Episode 8. She doesn't beat him, but she goes toe-to-toe with him, even making him bleed. And that rattles him, not just physically, but mentally as well. Homelander isn't a warrior. He's not a tactician. He's not a soldier. He's a tyrant, and tyrants crack when they meet real resistance. Homelander is powerful, unbelievably so, but put him up against someone who's fought real battles, who's trained, disciplined, and can match his strength without flinching, someone like All Might, and suddenly Homelander's odds don't look so Now, let's talk about All Might, the real deal. All Might isn't just strong, he's a symbol. The kind of hero who runs towards danger when everyone else runs away. When he shows up, villains don't talk, they panic. Not because of what he says, but because they know what's coming. A beatdown so fast and so brutal, they won't even see it coming. Physically, he's a monster. Peak All Might is like putting the soul of a golden retriever into the body of a wrecking ball. One punch from him can level entire city blocks. In his first appearance in My Hero Academia, he takes down a massive sludge villain with a single blow that creates a shockwave across the street. And in the USJ arc, more specifically Season 1 Episode 12, when he fights the bioengineered Nomu, a creature built specifically to kill him, he doesn't just survive, he wins by throwing over 300 punches in under a minute. That's not just strength, that's combat speed, stamina, and precision under pressure. All Might isn't just brawn, he's trained. He's been fighting high-level threats for decades. He's a tactician. He reads his opponents, controls the flow of a fight, and knows how to conserve energy for the exact moment he needs to end things. When All Might hits, it's not because he can, it's because he should. Every punch is thrown with intention. Compare that to Homelander, who throws tantrums with heat vision. All Might throws knockouts with purpose. And yeah, he has a weakness: time. After his injury from fighting All for One in the past, he can only maintain his muscular form for short periods. But even within those short windows, he's more effective than most heroes on their best day. But what truly sets All Might apart, even beyond the power, is his mindset. He's not fighting to dominate or be worshipped. He's fighting to protect. In that Camino battle, he doesn't just win physically. He inspires an entire nation by standing tall even when he's broken. That's pressure. That's legacy. Homelander is scary because no one in his world can stop him. All Might is inspiring because even when he was losing his power, he chose to keep fighting and still won. That's what makes All Might so dangerous in a real fight. Not just the punches, not just the durability. It's the experience, the discipline, and the unshakable will to keep going no matter what. Both of these guys are insanely powerful, no doubt about it. They're top tier heavy hitters in their worlds, the kind of characters who dominate headlines and shake up the very ground they walk on. But let's not kid ourselves, they're far from invincible. Everyone has weaknesses, and for Homelander and All Might, those flaws couldn't be more different, both in nature and impact. Let's start with Homelander. His biggest vulnerability isn't something you can punch or blast away. It's psychological. Deep down, beneath that mask of absolute confidence and terrifying power, Homelander's incredibly insecure. He doesn't just want love and admiration, he needs it. Almost like oxygen for his fragile ego. And when he doesn't get the constant adulation that he craves, he cracks. We saw this in Season 3, Episode 2, during his birthday speech. The crowd's lukewarm response wasn't just a minor disappointment, it was a blow that set off a meltdown broadcast broadcast to millions of people. That moment laid bare the real man behind the mask, a pressure cooker filled with rage, fear, and a desperate need to prove his worth. That's not a hero, that's a ticking time bomb with a superiority complex. Homelander's emotional fragility is his Achilles heel. One well-aimed insult, one person standing up to him without fear, one challenge to his carefully constructed image, and he unravels completely. Take the moment Queen Maeve threatens to expose the Flight 37 video. Instead of addressing the situation calmly or strategically, Homelander panics and lashes out irrationally. That's not the behavior of someone in control. That's a man terrified of losing face. Now, what about his combat weaknesses? Here's where it gets interesting. Homelander has a massive blind spot. He's never been truly tested against an equal. His entire life has been a string of easy victories over weaker opponents, people who can't push back or force him to adapt. His fighting style reflects this, simple and brutal. Laser first, intimidate second, finish with overwhelming brute force. But when that doesn't work, when an opponent actually fights back, he falls apart completely. Look at Herogasm in Season 3, Episode 6. Soldier Boy, Butcher, and Huey team up to take Homelander down, and for once, he doesn't come out on top. He's overpowered and overwhelmed. Then there's Queen Maeve in the finale, who manages to make him bleed and physically injure him. That's not just a minor setback. It's proof that Homelander's far from untouchable. He's durable, yes, but definitely not invincible. And let's not forget about arrogance, a huge part of Homelander's makeup. He walks into every situation thinking he's already won. That mindset works when facing civilians or weaker supes, but against someone like All Might, it blinds Homelander to real threats and blindsides him when things don't go his way. Now, let's flip the coin and talk about All Might. All Might's weakness is tragic and profoundly human. Back in the day, he could fight for hours, standing as an unshakable beacon of hope. Now, he's only got minutes, maybe less, before his energy drains completely and he's forced to revert to his weakened, powerless state. When he's in his hero form, All Might is a beast, a near unstoppable force of nature. But once that power runs out, he's not just weaker, he's vulnerable. No more super strength, no more speed, no more durability, just a frail man with a broken body and a heart full of resolve. It's a painful price to pay for being the symbol of peace and justice for so long. And that ticking clock, it adds immense pressure to every battle. In Season 3, Episode 11, during his final showdown with All for One, you can see the countdown in his eyes. Every second counts. Every punch must land with precision and purpose, because if he drags the fight out too long, it's game over. That kind of stress would crush most heroes, but All Might channels it into determination and focus. Still though, it's a vulnerability that could be exploited by a patient opponent. Also, unlike Homelander, All Might isn't invincible. He can take massive hits, full power strikes from monstrous foes like Nomu and All for One, and keep fighting. But he's not bulletproof. He's not immune to fatigue or injury. A prolonged battle where his opponent avoids direct confrontation or drags things out could wear him down quickly. But here's the crucial difference that separates the two. All Might knows his limits. He accepts them. He builds his strategy around them. Every second of his power is used with ruthless efficiency and calm purpose. He doesn't fight out of pride or ego. He fights with a mission, with a heart full of responsibility. His battles are battles of endurance, technique, and will. Homelander lives in denial. He doesn't acknowledge any weakness because he thinks there aren't any. That overconfidence, that blind spot, could be the very thing that causes his downfall. Because in a real fight, the moment you ignore your limits is the moment you become vulnerable. Now, let's really put these two side by side and break down how they stack up against each other. Raw strength, this one clearly leans towards All Might. Don't get me wrong, Homelander's no slouch. He's shown time and time again that he can tear people apart with his bare hands, crush bones like twigs, destroy planes mid-flight, and punch through steel like it's made of paper. We've seen him rip through concrete and even throw cars around like toys. The guy's raw power is undeniably insane, but All Might, he's playing a completely different game. We're talking about a hero who casually levels entire city blocks with a single punch. Once again, during the USJ attack, his punches didn't just injure Nomu, they created shockwaves so powerful they literally changed the weather around him. He sent villains flying into the stratosphere with just one blow and barely even broke a sweat. Homelander's power is impressive in his world, but All Might's destructive force is on a whole other scale. It's like comparing a heavyweight boxer to a wrecking ball. Both pack a punch, but one can demolish entire buildings. Speed? Again, this is All Might's domain. Homelander can fly fast, sure. He's moved fast enough to catch helicopters and dodge missiles, but his flight speed rarely translates into actual combat speed or efficiency. He often just hovers, using his presence and intimidation as his main weapons, rather than striking with lightning-fast attacks. In battles, he doesn't blitz opponents. He prefers to dominate through sheer power and fear, not quick reflexes. All Might, on the other hand, is a blur in combat. We've seen him blitz through multiple enemies in a blink of an eye, crossing entire battlefields in seconds and landing rapid-fire punches with pinpoint accuracy. He's not just fast for show, his speed is tactical, enabling him to overwhelm foes before they can even react. Whether he's dodging attacks or delivering decisive blows, his speed is a deadly tool. In the world of heroes and villains, speed isn't just about moving fast. It's about using that speed to control the fight and All Might nails that every single time. Durability? This is closer, but still leans towards All Might. Homelander's durability is insane. Bullets bounce off him, explosions don't phase him, and he's shrugged off attacks from other supes that would obliterate normal humans. But he's not invincible. Soldier Boy, who's a supremely powerful and battle-hardened opponent, managed to slam him through walls and actually put him on the defensive. Homelander can take a beating, sure, but he definitely shows signs of wear and tear in tough fights. All Might, however, is a tank in every sense of the word. He's endured hits from monstrous creatures like Nomu. He's taken powerful energy blasts and close-range attacks from All for One, and still kept fighting. What's more impressive is that he maintains his composure and tactical mind even when his body is breaking down. Durability isn't just about absorbing damage, it's about fighting through that damage without losing focus or falling apart. On this front, All Might has a clear edge. Combat skill? No contest here. All Might wins this hands down. Homelander doesn't really fight with any kind of refined technique. His style is mostly brute force and intimidation. He reacts with raw power, throwing punches or using his laser eyes to end things quickly, but that's it. He's never been tested by an equal and hasn't developed any real fighting discipline. All Might, in contrast, is a veteran fighter. He's faced dozens of opponents with all kinds of quirks and fighting styles. He knows how to read an enemy's moves, find their weaknesses, and deliver precise surgical strikes that end fights efficiently. His combat style combines power with timing, discipline, and adaptability. Where Homelander throws wild haymakers hoping to overpower, All Might lands calculated, decisive blows that answer every single threat. That kind of skill is a game changer in any fight. Mindset? This might be the most important category of all, and it goes to All Might without hesitation. Homelander's mindset is a ticking time bomb. He craves admiration and fear, but underneath that is a fragile, emotionally unstable core. He wants to win, yes, but more than that, he wants to look like he's winning. The moment someone challenges him or refuses to bow down, his confidence crumbles completely. His reactions get sloppy, erratic, and desperate. He panics when things don't go his way, which is a fatal flaw in a high-stakes fight. Parts of him are even self-aware enough to realize this. For example, the scene where he's talking to himself in the mirror, but unfortunately, his deluded side heavily outweighs his self-aware side. All Might, by contrast, is the very definition of steady. Even when he's battered, injured, and running out of time, he holds his ground. His final fight against All for One showed a man who might be physically breaking down, but whose spirit never wavers. That kind of mental fortitude, the ability to stay calm, focused, and courageous under overwhelming pressure, is what separates a good fighter from a great one. Against an opponent like All Might, emotional stability and tactical patience matter as much as raw power. So, who wins? If we're talking about a straight-up, no prep, no tricks fight, just both of them dropped into an open arena with nothing but their powers and skills, the clear winner is All Might. Prime All Might ends this fast. We're talking about a blitz so quick that Homelander wouldn't even realize what's happening until it's too late. All Might's speed and precision combined means he can close a distance in a heartbeat, landing devastating punches that don't just hurt, they shatter everything around him. One well-placed United States smash, and Homelander would be knocked out cold, vaporized in a blast of shockwave force, or slammed so hard into the pavement that the ground itself cracks beneath him. Game over. But there is a balancing factor. If we shift the scenario to a weakened All Might, post-injury, with his powers limited to the damage he sustained, the fight becomes more complicated. In that state, All Might's stamina and ability to hold his powered-up form are severely restricted. If Homelander can stay calm, keep his distance, and stall for time, there's a chance he could outlast All Might's window of full strength. That's probably Homelander's best shot at winning. He could try to exploit the time limit, using his flight and laser vision to wear All Might down gradually. But here's a critical flaw in that strategy. Homelander doesn't fight smart. He's not the kind of opponent who plays the long game or bides his time. He doesn't stall or retreat when the fight gets tough. Instead, he postures, he taunts, he gets cocky. His ego drives him to show off, to dominate visually and psychologically, rather than to carefully strategize. And when things don't go his way, when he faces real resistance, he panics, lashes out irrationally, and loses control. So, what's the final verdict? Homelander might survive a few rounds. He might land some hits or use his powers to buy time. But in a fight to the finish, with no hands barred and no outside interference, he's not walking away with the win. All Might takes it every single time.